Hello, warriors. This is Miss Lemons, and today we are going to be going through the reading of the background section for the density lab. So before we get started, make sure you have a highlighter and some sort of writing utensil so that you can highlight important pieces throughout the paragraph as well as annotate in the margins. Keep in mind that we're looking for short bits to highlight, and for everything that you highlight, you need to write a brief note describing why you highlighted it in the margins. Okay? All right. And these are kind of chunky paragraphs, so let's aim for 2 highlights per paragraph. Around 250 BC, a Greek mathematician named Archimedes was given the task of determining whether a craftsman had tricked the king of Syracuse by replacing some of the gold in the king's crown with silver. Archimedes thought about the problem while relaxing in a pool. When he got into a pool, he noticed that the water spilled over the sides of the pool. He had an idea. He realized that the amount of water that spilled out of the pool was equal in volume to the space that his body occupied. Archimedes could use water displacement to help him tell the difference between a crown made of pure gold and a crown made of silver and gold mixed together. Archimedes placed the craftsman's crown and a pure gold crown into 2 tubs of water. He found that the same amount of water spilled over the sides of the tubs when the crowns were submerged. This meant that the crowns had the same volume. However, when Archimedes placed each crown on a scale balance, he found that the craftsman's crown had a larger mass than the pure gold crown. It turned out that the craftsman had cheated the king. Archimedes had used the concept of density to expose the fraud. Density is a physical property of matter that expresses the relationship between an object's mass to its volume. It is calculated by dividing the object's mass by its volume, and it is expressed in units of grams per milliliter, which is abbreviated as G/ml. Density reflects how closely packed, or the mass, the particles of matter are in a certain amount of space, volume. And density can be used to identify unknown substances. Both the craftsman's crown and the pure gold crown were the same shape and size, or volume. But the particles of the craftsman's crown were packed together more tightly, which means it had more mass than the pure gold crown. This meant that the craftsman's crown had a greater density. Since different substances have different densities, density measurements are a useful means of identification. So, all pure gold crowns will have the same density regardless of how big or small they are if they are truly made of pure gold.